Alright guys, it's the time you have all been waiting for, my final iPhone 12 review. And yeah, this phone has been nothing short of amazing. As a bunch of other reviewers also mentioned, this is probably the one to buy this year instead of the Pro model. Just because the Pro model is not, it's supposed to give you a bit more in terms of value, where really this year it's falling a little bit short in terms of giving you much more than this. This one has OLED screen, which is almost on par with the top model, the Pro models, and there's really not that much difference between this one and the Pro model. For instance, the Pro model has the extra telephoto camera, and when I started to do this review, I was coming from the Note 10 Plus, and that has a telephoto camera, and I have a habit of actually using the telephoto camera quite often, and it was kind of strange for me with this one not to have the telephoto camera. I didn't realize how much I actually use it. But what I did find out about the iPhone is that it actually has a very good digital zoom. I assume they're using some of the similar software to what Google is using to try and get better image quality, because you can see as you zoom into the picture, the actual picture is not that great, but the post-processing after the image was taken, that usually looks quite good. Okay, so let's talk about some of the positives of the new iPhone 12 before we talk about the negatives. And really, there's not a lot of negatives when it comes to this phone, but I had to nitpick a little bit. I did find a few things which does bother me, but let's start with the positives. First of all, the build and the design of this phone, I really like what they did. As I mentioned before, they went back to the squared off corners, and this is really nice. I think everyone prefers this. It makes us think back about the days of the iPhone 4, which was basically the last iPhone I had. I tried the iPhone 7, I didn't like it. I went back to my Galaxy S8 at the time. So this is very nice and refreshing. It looks good. So I'm glad that they went back to that. A lot of reviewers also said that they don't like this glossy back, that it's a fingerprint magnet, but me actually, I love this this glossy finish. It looks really nice and classy. Anyway, you're gonna end up putting a cover over it. The only reason I didn't buy a cover is because I'm planning on giving this one away. I didn't want to spend the extra money in case I didn't actually get this one myself. But it's I haven't dropped it or anything. It's still in very good condition, and you can feel that it's a good build. It should last you, feels like a phone that's going to last you a long time. You can have it for 5 years, and you shouldn't have any problem with it during that time. So when we look at the quality of the screen, I feel that the screen is very good. It's not as vivid as the Note 10 Plus that I have, but I mean, you can imagine, you know, Samsung is supposed to be the best at you know, OLED technology and making screens. So it's almost on par, you know, and the iPhone gives you more natural looking colors, where the Samsung gives you a little bit brighter, more vibrant colors, which is not always preferred, right? So you can see the difference as well. This is LCD, this is OLED, and this is OLED. So you can see on the LCD you're not getting quite as dark colors. There's more reflection on the screen as well, where these two OLEDs, they look a little bit better. You can see the Samsung has just got that little bit sharper color, right? Then after that, what I liked about this phone, this is something not really a bunch of other reviewers has talked about, but I used to get a lot of issues with my Samsung with Bluetooth connectivity. I used to lose signal with my Bluetooth earphones and my car radio and everything, and it's just not always connecting the way that it should. Where with the iPhone, I find that it's a much more reliable connection between the devices when they connect, more stable. And that is something I really appreciated. I'm not saying it's specific to this iPhone, probably previous generations it's also like that, but this is something that you can appreciate when you buy an iPhone or iOS device. If you're someone that doesn't want to struggle, you don't want hassle, I think this is better when it comes to that. Then when we talk about battery life, I was really shocked with this phone, and I've read a bunch of articles that say that this is actually a worse battery life than the iPhone 11. Because they made it a little bit smaller, and also because the phone is 5G. It tends to chow a little bit of battery. But honestly, for me, I've had great battery life. Many times I finished the day on more than half of my battery. And the nice thing about it is I've got a quick charger in the car, or a wireless charger in the car, and I've got a wireless charger next to my bed. And between charging it when I go to bed and in the car, it's never less than 50%. Where with the Note 10, I'd have to get home and I'd have to plug it into the quick charger just to get it enough to last me the whole day. I mean, I would even go as far to say as that this battery almost lasts twice as long as this battery. I was getting about 4 to 5 hours of screen on time on the Note. Keep in mind, this is the Exynos model, which is known to not have great battery life, where on the Apple I was getting more or less around 8 hours of screen on time, which is something I've never really experienced with the phone before. So that's just awesome. And the one benefit, I mean, this is less than 3,000 milliamps battery. The one benefit of that is that this phone charges very quickly. So if I put this one in the car on the wireless charger, it feels like it doesn't even really charge. It's kind of just maintaining. It's not losing battery. Where if I drive my 10 minutes to work, I put this one on charge, you're probably gaining 10%, because each time I drive there, I drive back, the phone just does not get flat. And that's the one benefit that you can appreciate from a smaller battery. With that, I can tell you that definitely iOS is more power efficient than what Android is. And the best way I can explain this to you is, I mean, this is a powerhouse. You know, most Androids have just stacked with features and, you know, options and 12 gigs of RAM and the best display and the best camera technology, but the way that the iPhone optimizes it and the way that it's specific to this device, it's basically like comparing a muscle car to a Porsche. You know, this does not necessarily have the power that this has, but the way that it optimizes it and delivers it is so much better, right? Then I wanted to talk about the high refresh rate. So with the iPhone, I was pretty bummed that we were not getting the high refresh rate. I was excited. The standard models were not going to get it, but I was going to get a Pro model. I was just waiting for the high refresh rate. But to be honest with you, I mean, this iPad has a high refresh rate, and if you look at the iPad and the iPhone, almost can't tell the difference. The iPad might be a little bit faster, but it's barely noticeable, especially on such a small screen. Where on a big screen like the iPad, it makes much more sense to actually have the high refresh rate. So if this is something that bothers you, like it bothered me, honestly, I had no issue with the iPhone. It felt very snappy, fast, and because the iOS is so refined and simple, everything feels very nippy. Then just to talk about the camera, this is an awesome camera. Like I said, I think I missed the fact that it doesn't have a telephoto, but I was pleasantly surprised by the digital zoom of this camera. And it, I was zooming up to 2.5 times, and it was able to retain really good quality. So what they can achieve these days with digital zoom, it's amazing. Almost not even necessary to have that extra camera. And as one YouTuber was mentioning, that in low light, many times the phone will prefer the main lens over the telephoto, as it's a better quality lens. So it's not using that camera anyway. So the hype on the telephoto, honestly, you unless you're one of those people that freakishly uses your zoom to spy on people and stuff like that, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine with this phone, right? So all in all, I think this is a great phone, and one of the best things about it is the size. I came from quite a big boxy phone to using this 6.1 inch, and honestly, I ask myself sometimes, would I go for the Max if I could? And I was speaking to one of my clients that has the Max, and they say that once you get the Max, it's just, you do not want to go back to this. But I can honestly tell you that it's very refreshing for me to use a little bit of a smaller phone for a change, and I think this is the perfect size for everyone. It's nice to use with one hand. Even though I do want to say that with Android, I do prefer the one-handed use, because if you're in something and you want to go backwards, all you do is you swipe left and you go back. Whereas with the iPhone, if I want to go back, I need to click here with my other hand in the corner. You can see one-handed use. It's not ideal to actually go and click all the way up into the corner. So that's something that I prefer with Android. And to tell you the truth, in all honesty, I still prefer Android over iOS. It's much closer now, and I think iOS 14 is very nice. I like the widgets that they put in. But something that irritates me about iOS is if I drag down, I get the search bar, where with Android you can drag. I don't know if this is a Samsung or an Android thing. Mostly I've had Samsung, but you can drag down anywhere on the screen and you will get your notification panel. You get your settings here at the top. And also with Apple, you need to actually go into the settings to change the settings, where with Android, you just swipe down from here, and what you can do is you can just literally access all your settings from this menu. Your camera app as well. Your camera app, you have your settings in the camera app, whereas with the iPhone, you don't have any major settings in the camera app. You need to actually go out of the app and into the settings if you want to change that. And I think that's stupid. I don't know why they haven't changed that yet. For me, that's silly. Then this notification panel on the iPhone, I'm not too crazy about it. It's something that I haven't liked. It's just, it feels very, in the way, and it's a mission to get rid of everything, where I feel on Android it's just much simpler. I can just press clear and it clears everything, where here, it's a bit more of a mission to get everything out of the way. But I do like these little shortcuts that they have at the bottom ends of the iPhone, Samsung or iOS. Android, you just swipe up, where with the iPhone or the iOS device, you just hold it in and it opens up that application. And obviously you can change those shortcuts. Right, then I wanted to just talk about this notch. Obviously the notch, I'm not a huge fan of the notch, but obviously it houses the Face ID. I was very happy with Face ID. When I first registered my face, it didn't recognize me with sunglasses, and I had to actually go into the settings, and I had to turn off some feature so it could actually recognize me, and this made it less secure, and that kind of put me off. But ever since then, it's been recognizing me with sunglasses every time, and yeah, it's been really fast. And even from a distance, even from from far away, the Face ID is pretty accurate at picking up your face. Then another nice feature is my iPad, this iPad that I spoke so highly about. One day the screen just went black, and it didn't want to go on after that. And I took it in, and luckily it was still under warranty. So after many weeks, they just basically gave me a new iPad. And when I got the new iPad and I brought it, I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to install everything again and put up profiles. And something nice, iOS users will probably know about this. I didn't know about it, but all I had to do is I had to bring the iPad close to the iPhone, and it literally synced everything. It knew all my passwords, Wi-Fi passwords, took all my photos and everything, my notes, and it just synced it together. And this was just an awesome experience. I mean, no one wants to go through that setting up. It takes hours just to get the thing set up the way you want, installing all your apps. So that was very cool, and that's obviously what Apple is very good at, is integrating all the devices together. So that was a pleasant surprise. Then still some of the negatives, really there's not a lot. The video quality of the iPhone on low light wasn't great. I think there's better ones. I think the Samsung does a better job at low light video, and low light photos also I think is better on the Samsung. But I find that the focus, the autofocus on the iPhone, more in daylight than nighttime, is a little bit better on the iPhone. And yeah, other than that, I feel that it's a little bit pricey, especially you don't get a brick in the box. You don't get that third camera. I mean, for the same price now, it's been a little bit discounted, but you can buy the new Note 20 Ultra for the same price that I bought this iPhone 12, and I mean, it's not even the Pro. And then it becomes a little bit more difficult to recommend it. I mean, there you get 120 Hertz, you get a much bigger screen, you get a much bigger battery, you get a very powerful device that has all the bells and whistles. So it's a little bit expensive, but I think over the long term, this phone will keep its value very well. And the thing that I like about iPhones is secondhand you're going to sell it, and you're going to sell it for a good price. Whereas with all Android devices, you're going to take a bigger knock. You're going to get much less than what you would get for the iPhone, because everyone has iPhones. That's it, guys. I think that's everything I have to say about it. All in all, I'm very sad that I have to give this phone away. I really enjoyed it. I wish I could keep it for myself. But what I also realized is that phones are getting so good these days that even my Note 10, it can still keep up with this one in most cases. And that's what I realized that is really necessary to upgrade. And the answer in most cases is no, it's not necessary. But it is very nice. If you're rocking an iPhone 10 or anything below that, I think it's worth it to upgrade. But if you have the iPhone 11 honestly, it's not worth it to upgrade. If you got something like a Note 10 or a Pixel 4 or you know, what else, OnePlus 7, 8, yeah, it's honestly not worth it to upgrade. But I think all round, this is one of the you know, the best all-round packages, best camera, fastest processor, feels very speedy. I never found any lag or anything. I just finished a workout video with one of my friends. I edited the whole thing on the iPhone, and I did it in 4K, and it didn't even take that long. I mean, the processor in this thing is just amazing. Like nothing even comes close. So I was pleasantly surprised. I tested the 5G as well. Let's see if I can quickly picked up 5G. So let's quickly do a speed test. So we don't have the fast 5G. We've got the slower one. I can't remember what they call it, but it's like 4G plus. And the fastest speed I was getting, obviously here there's not great reception. The fastest speed I was getting was about 150 megabytes per second. I know 4G tops out at about 100 megabytes a second, so it is 1.5 times as fast, but you know, it's not really major. It's not like 10 times faster, you know, or 100 times faster as the, you know, the full 5G. So unfortunately I couldn't test that, but as I was driving through Riyadh, there's many places where I did pick up the 5G logo, as you can see, picking up it right now. So it is supported, but it's the slower version. I think they call it millimeter wave. I'll just double check on that. Yeah, one last thing I forgot to mention, this phone is up to 6 meters, can be submerged for up to 6 meters, which is incredible if you think about it. I don't think there's another phone that can be submerged that deep. So even though it does have one of the nicest designs, it's also one of the most durable and water resistant designs, and that's something I can really appreciate. I'm someone that's very hard on the phone, so I like things like that. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna do the draw shortly after this video. I hope you guys are excited, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you haven't done so yet, please like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.